You know, our cities, our skylines, they're all built by human hands. It's a process that, believe it or not, has stayed pretty much the same for 100 years. But what if the next skyscraper wasn't just built by people? What if it was built by robots who could practically read the architect's mind? Today, we're diving into the incredible breakthrough that could make that a reality.
But first, here's a paradox for you. We live in an age where robots assemble our cars and our phones with almost microscopic precision. Yet the buildings we live and work in are still put together piece by piece, pretty much the same way they were 50 years ago. So why has construction, this massive, multi-trillion-dollar global industry, been almost completely left behind by the robotic revolution?
And when you look at the data, the story is, well, it's pretty shocking. Since the 1990s, productivity in manufacturing has absolutely soared, all thanks to automation. But in that exact same time frame, construction productivity has just flatlined. In some cases, it's even gone down. This isn't just a small gap, it's a massive chasm, and it represents billions, maybe trillions, in lost efficiency.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll dig into this automation paradox. Then, we'll look at the two separate digital worlds at the heart of the problem. After that, we'll explore the digital bridge that's been built to connect them. We'll see how buildings can literally start talking to robots, watch a robot's very first build, and then wrap up by looking at what this all means for the future of construction.
Okay, so what's the deal? At its core, the problem is that manufacturing happens in these perfectly controlled, repeatable factory environments. It's predictable. Construction, on the other hand, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's customized, and it all happens out in the real world. Every single project is unique, which makes it incredibly difficult for that traditional factory-style automation to get any traction.
But here's the twist. The roadblock has never really been about the machines. We have robots that are strong enough, precise enough to do the job. No, the real challenge has always been about information. It's a digital problem. It's a fundamental problem of translation. You see, at the heart of all of this is a massive digital divide. You've got two completely separate ecosystems, two different digital languages that have, up until now, been totally unable to communicate with each other. On one side, you have the world of design and architecture, and on the other, the world of robotics. So in the architect's world, the gold standard is something called Building Information Modeling, or BIM. The best way to think of a BIM file is as the complete digital DNA of a building. It's this incredibly rich 3D model that contains every single detail, every beam, every column, every wire, every pipe, everything, along with all its properties and its exact location. Then you have the robotics world, and there, the dominant platform is ROS, which stands for the Robot Operating System. Now, ROS is basically the central nervous system for a robot. It's the software framework that takes in all the sensor data, plans all the movements, and tells the robot's arms and wheels what to do. It's the brain of the machine. And that, right there, is the fundamental problem. The architect's incredibly detailed blueprint, the BIM model, and the robot's brain, powered by ROS, have been speaking completely different languages. There was just no standard, no straightforward way to take all that amazing information from the building's DNA and feed it to a robot so it could actually understand and do something with it. But what if there was a way to fix that? Well, that's where this groundbreaking new research comes in. It proposes a framework that acts like a universal translator for construction. This is the digital bridge we've been missing all along. It's a system designed to finally let the world of building design talk directly to the world of robotics. Okay, so to build this bridge, you've got to understand the two languages it's connecting. The architect's language, which is called IFC, is super structured. It organizes information kind of like a set of nested folders, starting with the entire project, then drilling down to the site, the building itself, and finally all the way down to every single individual piece, like one specific steel beam. Now, the robot's language, called SDF, is totally different. It doesn't care about architectural plans, it cares about physics. It defines a world with rules like gravity and light, and then it describes every single object in that world by its physical properties, its exact shape, its weight, its mass. It's everything a machine needs to know to physically grab and move something. So how does this digital bridge actually work? Think of it like an automated translation pipeline. It takes the architect's language and converts it for the robot, step by step. First, it pulls out a single component, say that one steel beam, from the master blueprint. Second, it extracts all the important data, its shape, its material, its properties. Third, that data gets automatically translated into the robot's physical language, STF.
And finally, a brand new virtual object is created, a perfect digital twin that the robot can see and understand in its simulated world.
But here's where it gets really cool. This is more than just converting files from one format to another. It's about giving each digital piece of the building its own kind of intelligence, turning them from just static objects into active players in their own construction. They call this a smart component. Each digital part, that beam, that column, is given its own awareness. It knows its current status. It knows where it needs to go. And, most importantly, it can communicate what it needs directly to a robot. It can basically raise a digital hand and say, "Hey, I'm over here in the yard and I'm ready to be picked up."
And this intelligence is managed through a pretty simple life cycle. A component starts out in the yard with its status set to awaiting pickup. The moment a robot grabs it, its status changes to in transit. Once it's dropped off at the right spot, it becomes ready for assembly. Each one of these status changes is a signal, a little digital tap on the shoulder that tells the whole system what needs to happen next. It creates this amazing self-organizing workflow.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually work in practice? To find out, the researchers decided to put it to the test. They set up a virtual construction site to see if a real robot could use this new shared language to build something from scratch.
For the case study, they used a popular research robot. You might have heard of it. It's called a Husky. And its mission was to autonomously build a light steel frame structure. You know, the kind of thing you might see in a small warehouse or a greenhouse, using all these prefabricated parts just sitting in a virtual yard.
And this wasn't some simple little task either. The robot had to correctly identify, pick up, move, and place 28 different components, 9 foundations, 9 columns, and 10 beams. And it had to do it all just based on that original design file and the real-time status of each of those smart components. What's amazing is that the simulation gives us 2 different windows into this process. On one side, you have a program called Gazebo, which shows us the physical world. It's a realistic 3D view of the robot and the construction site. But on the other side, you have a tool called RViz, and this is like looking directly into the robot's brain. You don't see the world as it looks. You see it as the robot sees it, as a cloud of data points, calculated pathways, and sensor readings. It's a fascinating look into the machine's decision-making process.
So what's the big picture here? What does all of this really mean? Well, this isn't just some clever piece of software. This is a blueprint for a completely new era in construction, one that's more open, more accessible, and way more automated. The breakthroughs here are honestly huge. This framework finally bridges that critical information gap we talked about. And because it uses open standards, it creates a universal way to simulate robotic construction. This is a big deal because it gets rid of the need for expensive, proprietary software or specific brands of robots. It basically opens the doors for researchers, startups, and innovators everywhere to jump in and start building the future.
And the researchers themselves put it perfectly. They said the framework can expand the efficiency of using BIM. In other words, it takes that static digital blueprint and transforms it into a living, breathing, interactive construction site. We're finally starting to unlock the full power of the data that we've had all along.
And that really leaves us with one incredible final question. For the very first time, the architect's vision and the robot's actions can be seamlessly linked. So what does that make possible? What kind of incredible new structures will we be able to build when our creators and our constructors finally truly speak the same language?